Greetings, I'm Charles, I'm 55 years old, I'm 6'1" and 230 pounds when I'm fully assembled. Today is going to be talking about, well, basically part 3 of severely dry, cracked hands, how to repair, how to prevent. And this part 3 is specifically because I realized I had not discussed how to fix cracked skin on the knuckles. And I've had this happen a couple of times, and if this has ever happened to you, I'm sure you're aware that by golly, is the most difficult and takes the longest for it to heal, because being on a knuckle, anytime you bend your fingers, of course, it busts open the scab, and it just seems to get worse unless you're very proactive. So it's basically a summary for normal wintertime situations. I get fairly dry, cracked hands on a regular basis, and what I do, one of the things specifically with me, I do wash my hands a lot, so I try to cut that down a little bit because that does dry the hands out, and I use a comfrey typically to put on my hands, which is kind of like a cream, but it's a what I like to use is a beeswax based substance, and it has a mineral oil as also as part of the carrier to help smooth it out. And there's all kinds of things out there like that, beeswax, and it'll have either a mineral oil or some kind of a vegetable oil base, and there may well be other things mixed in to help with healing and preserving moisture within your skin. But one of the things I specifically like about this beeswax based thing is that it just takes a very tiny little bit. They come in little itty bitty jars. You think you're overpaying because they're in such small jars, but it goes a very, very long way. And it doesn't make my phone slimy, or my keyboard on my laptop slimy, or my mouse, or any of that kind of stuff that I use. It doesn't make any of that stuff slimy. It's just once you rub it into your hands, it's just it feels like you got a tiny bit of wax coating on your hand, but that's it. It's not slimy. It doesn't leave grease marks on things and that sort of thing. So basically on the round 2, when it comes to getting severe dry, cracked hands like I did this past year, my regular regimen just really didn't cut the mustard. And one of the things, well, basically 2 procedural things that I did for that is I went ahead and fished out my humidifier and put that up in my bedroom. So I humidified the bedroom. I didn't think it was particularly dry this year, but apparently it was worse than I anticipated. And as I mentioned, I wash my hands an awful lot, but when I could get away with it, I quit using soap. If my hands were just dirty and I didn't have to do anything like handle food or whatever, I would just basically rinse my hands off real good, rub them together real good, dry them off, that sort of thing, but didn't use soap, because soap will dry the skin out, and if you wash your hands as often as I do in a given day, I had dry hands actually in the most humid part of the year. So I'd cut that down, the use of hand soap as much as I reasonably could when I was washing my hands, and that helped a lot. Alright, so now we're at basically part 3 of this set of videos, and I'm going to talk about how to heal the cracks when we get them on the back of the hands, and specifically on the knuckles, because obviously when you bend your finger, it's going to stretch that out, and if there's a cut on here, it's never going to heal because you use this finger all the time. So my big thing that I did is, well, basically I did all of my other steps that I just discussed as far as the washing the hands, and try to have some stuff to help keep my hands moisturized and things of that nature. But the big trick on these healing these knuckles. And I know I'm always tempted, I always want to put this off until it just gets really terrible because it's really inconvenient. But the best thing that I have found is doing my regular regimen and then adding one of these doggone things, which is a little finger splint. Now, as far as medical devices go, this is probably about the cheapest thing I've ever run across. I got a box at the pharmacy section at the grocery store. It was, just under $4. It had two of these dudes in here. And this one specifically is kind of difficult to use because it's got little Velcro things, and Velcro and trying to hold stuff still with one hand is difficult. But once I got it set, I could just slip it on and slip it off my finger, and that'll keep it immobile. Of course, with my situation, I spend a lot of time in a wheelchair, and it takes a little while to kind of figure out how to operate the wheelchair and consciously keep my finger, my busted finger, whatever the one I'm trying to get healed up, taken care of. But I have determined that once I break down and go ahead and put this thing on my finger, this finger splint, and I keep my other stuff, keep moisturizing, just don't wash with hand soap as often as I can, to give up on the hand soap, have a moisturizer or a humidifier in my bedroom, and just have regular good skin care, using my beeswax type comfrey or cream. That it takes me, probably about 2 weeks, 2.5 weeks, and you can't even tell that split was there. And usually I'm really lazy about these splints, so it looks like my finger's about to fall off before I actually put these on. It still takes just about 2.5 weeks for it to heal to the point where you can't even tell that there was a sore there. So hopefully that little bit of extra information will be helpful for you, and good luck.